The house felt different at night. When the lights went low and the noise of the day faded, Claire Morgan felt the weight of her own thoughts. She moved through the rooms quietly, as if the walls might hear her breathing. The divorce had been final for 8 months, but the silence still surprised her. At 46, she was learning how to live without asking anyone where they were going or when they would be back. Some nights felt peaceful. Others felt endless. Ethan, her son, had come home from college for the summer, and with him came life. Doors slammed again. Laughter filled the kitchen. Shoes appeared by the front door like old times. Claire smiled more during the day. She cooked bigger meals. She pretended she didn't notice how quickly Ethan had grown into a man who barely needed her anymore. Ethan brought friends over most evenings. They watched sports, played cards, talked about plans Claire only half understood. She stayed nearby, pretending to read or clean, listening without meaning to. They were young, but not boys anymore. Their voices were steady, their faces serious, in ways that surprised her. One friend stood out. Noah Reed was different from the others. He didn't talk loud or interrupt. He listened first. When he spoke, people leaned in. He had kind eyes and a calm smile that never seemed rushed. Claire noticed him without trying to. She told herself it was normal. She was a mother. She noticed people. The first time Noah spoke directly to her, it was about a book on the coffee table. He asked if she liked the author. She did. They talked for 5 minutes. That was all. But afterward, Claire felt a strange warmth in her chest, like she had stepped into sunlight after being cold too long. She ignored it. Days passed. Noah kept showing up. Sometimes Ethan wasn't even with him. He helped carry groceries. He fixed a loose step on the porch. He thanked Claire for dinner and meant it. He didn't treat her like someone's mom. He treated her like a person. Late. One night after everyone had gone to sleep, Claire lay awake, staring at the ceiling. She didn't know why her heart was racing. She blamed the coffee she'd had earlier. She blamed the quiet. She blamed anything except the truth. The storm came without warning a few nights later. Thunder cracked the sky open. Rain slammed the roof. The power went out, leaving the house in sudden darkness. Claire sat up in bed, startled. She grabbed a flashlight and stepped into the hallway. The air smelled like rain and something old. Something deep. Ethan's door was closed. She heard his steady breathing. Downstairs, the house creaked as if it were waking up. Claire lit candles in the living room. The small flames pushed back the dark. She wrapped herself in a blanket and sat on the couch, listening to the storm. Her thoughts drifted. She wondered, when life had started feeling so thin, it's like something was missing and she couldn't name it. Footsteps sounded on the stairs. Noah appeared in the doorway, holding his phone for light. He looked surprised to see her awake. "Power's out," he said softly, as if the storm might hear him. "I noticed," Claire replied, smiling despite herself. He laughed quietly and walked into the room. The candlelight changed his face, softened. E.T. sat in a chair across from her, keeping space between them. They talked about storms they remembered as kids, about how fear changes with age. The conversation moved fast but felt easy. Words came without effort. Claire forgot the time. She forgot the storm. She forgot the rules she lived by during the day. She felt seen, not desired. Not chased. Seen. Noah listened, like every word mattered. When she spoke about starting over after divorce, he didn't look away or rush her. He nodded. He understood more than she expected someone his age to understand. The thrill came quietly. It wasn't a touch. It wasn't a look. It was the feeling of being alive again, of remembering who she was before life had narrowed her world. The power flickered back on suddenly. The room brightened. The moment broke. Noah stood up quickly, clearing his throat. "I should head back." "Upstairs," he said. Claire nodded. Her heart beat too fast. She hated that he noticed at the stairs. He paused. "I'm glad we talked," he said. Good night, Claire. She watched him go, the space he left behind feeling larger than before. Alone again. Claire sat in the quiet, the storm fading outside. Her hands trembled slightly. She pressed them together and closed her eyes. She knew something had changed, and she didn't know how to stop it. Claire did not sleep well after the storm. The next morning came too fast, light filling the room before she felt ready to face it. She stood at the kitchen sink, staring out the window, replaying every word from the night before. Nothing wrong had happened. No lines were crossed. Still, her chest felt tight, like she was holding a secret she never asked for. She decided to change things. Claire stayed busy. She woke early, left the house more, filled her days with errands that did not need to be done. When Ethan and his friends came over, she smiled politely and kept her distance. If Noah entered a room, she found a reason to leave it. She told herself this was maturity, this was control. But feelings do not disappear because you ignore them. Noah noticed the change. He grew quieter. He stopped staying late. When he spoke to Claire, it was careful, respectful, but distant. That distance hurt more than she expected. It made her realize how much those small moments had meant to her. One evening, Ethan went out with friends, leaving the house unusually quiet. Claire folded laundry in the living room, the TV on for noise she wasn't watching. She thought she was alone until she heard the front door open. Stepped inside. "I didn't know you were here," Claire said. Her voice steady, even though her heart wasn't. "I forgot my jacket," he replied. He hesitated, then added, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" They stood across from each other, the air heavy but calm. Claire nodded. They went outside to the porch. The night was warm and still. Crickets filled the silence they didn't know how to break. "I'm leaving," Noah said suddenly. Claire felt the words before she understood them. "Leaving. I got a job offer in Seattle. I wasn't even sure I wanted to take it, but I think it's time." Her throat tightened. She nodded slowly, afraid to speak. "There's something else," he continued. "I don't want to leave without being honest. I never meant to make things complicated. You didn't do anything wrong, but that night during the storm mattered to me." Claire looked at him, surprised by the softness in his voice. "I felt lost," Noah said, "and you reminded me that people can still connect in simple, real ways. That meant more than you know." Before Claire could answer, the front door opened. Ethan stepped outside. "Mom," he said gently, "I know what's going on." Claire froze. Ethan didn't look angry. He didn't look hurt. He looked calm in a way that scared her more than anger ever could. "I saw it," he said. "Not anything bad. Just the way you both got quiet. The way you avoided each other. I've figured it out." Claire waited for judgment. It didn't come. "Nothing happened," Ethan continued, "and that matters. Feelings aren't crimes. What matters is respect." Claire's eyes filled with tears. Noah spoke up. I would never hurt you or your mom." "I know," Ethan said. "That's why this isn't a fight." They stood there, the three of them, under a sky full of stars, facing something uncomfortable with honesty instead of fear. Noah left a week later. There were no dramatic goodbyes, just a long hug and quiet words neither of them would ever forget. When his car pulled away, Claire felt sad but not broken. Weeks passed. The house settled again, but this time the quiet didn't scare her. Claire began to feel something new, hope. She started going out more. She laughed easier. She remembered that her life was still hers to shape. The thrill she felt that night had not been about Noah alone. It had been about waking up, and this time she was ready for whatever came next.